Hey there, and welcome to BrainStuff. I'm Josh Clark, and this is the BrainStuff where I explain to you how jet lag works. So jet lag, also called desynchronisis, is a collection of symptoms that arise when we quickly travel across time zones, and it's the result of disrupting our circadian rhythms, also known as our sleep-wake cycle. And we have our friends, the chronobiologists, people who study the effects of time on living systems, to thank for our understanding of just how jet lag works and just how bad it can be. Jet lag all begins in the eye. In your eye, you have specialized pigments that are dedicated to sensing natural light. And when they do, they send a signal to a tiny cluster of about 20,000 neurons located in your hypothalamus. And this cluster is called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, which is really fun to say. Go ahead and say it yourself. I'll wait. Yeah, see? Now the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN if you like to save time and don't like to have fun saying things, senses this natural light, and it sends out a signal to other parts of your body which are sleeping at the time. And that signal says, "Rise and shine. It's time to go ahead and get up and pee." Then, as the day wears on and the sun starts to set and the natural light that's picked up by this pigment wanes a little bit, your suprachiasmatic nucleus says, "Oh, it's starting to get time to slow down." Once the sun sets, it releases a hormone called melatonin, and the melatonin puts you to sleep. Then the whole thing starts over again the next day when the sun comes up. That's your sleep-wake cycle. That's your circadian rhythm, and that's what gets messed up when we travel from one time zone to another time zone halfway around the world, where the sun rising and setting happens on a different timetable than what your circadian rhythm is used to. The effects overall are insane. Now remember, the suprachiasmatic nucleus is a part of the hypothalamus, and the hypothalamus is a money gland in your brain. It has its hands in all sorts of different body system pots, right? So, since your suprachiasmatic nucleus is experiencing some weirdness, your hypothalamus is as well. So when you have jet lag, your body temperature will be messed up, you will find yourself being ravenously hungry, your urine production will increase or decrease depending on what your brain feels like doing at the time, your blood pressure will rise, stress hormones will flood your body, your inflammatory response will be aggravated, you will be messed up in profound ways. And our friends the chronobiologists have informed us that the cumulative effects of jet lag are actually worse than the acute symptoms. And we know this thanks to studies on poor mice and hamsters. One study found that older mice experience early death when they're exposed to weekly jet lag, which is terrible. And another study that involved hamsters found that these poor little hamsters formed neurons at about half the rate when they had jet lag than when they didn't. The hamsters didn't ask for this. So what do you do to get over stinky jet lag? Well, there's a lot of tips and tricks out there, some of which actually work. One long-standing technique is that you, before your trip, incrementally adjust your sleep-wake cycle to match what it will be when you get to your destination. The thing is, this includes rising really, really early or staying up really, really late before a big trip. This technique obviously sucks though, so how about some other ones? How about melatonin? Remember that hormone that your suprachiasmatic nucleus helps release? Well, it turns out you can find this in supplement form. So you can take it to help yourself adjust, and it's just a pill that requires no waking or staying up late, which means it's obviously better than that first technique. The thing is you don't want to take these pills, or really any sleeping pill on the plane. While it may seem totally sensible to sleep off jet lag going to or from your destination, it's actually a really bad idea. That's because on a plane, blood clots can form in your legs if you just sit there in the seat for a long time and remain immobile. These blood clots can get loose and travel up to your heart, your lungs, your brain, and kill you, which is decidedly worse than jet lag. Ultimately, while you're in the throes of terrible jet lag, just remember, eventually your body should adjust to it, as long as you're not an elderly mouse. So how bad has your jet lag been? We want to hear all about it in the comments below. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe. And for even more awesomeness, head to the great website HowStuffWorks.